Will Russia expand its war with Ukraine to the rest of the world? We'll have that report next. Hello and welcome back to the Watchman News Network. We've all heard of prophecies that had to do with the death of the dollar, as well as inflation and war with Russia, both here in America as well as Europe. Now, Full Spectrum Survival just had an excellent report on this very subject. So here is part of that report.
This is breaking news. Russia has warned that if any of the nearby or neighboring countries continue with their move to join NATO, it will lead to World War III. There will be no other choice, they say, but for Russia to enter the world into war. Now all hopes for peace have been dashed after news broke this morning that Sweden will be applying for its NATO membership and hopes to join the fold of the Fifth Article Agreement for Allied Response to Attack by June of this year. According to the release, Sweden and Finland's prime ministers have just held a joint conference outlining plans to join NATO. Sweden is expected to move first. The PM says that she won't give a timetable, but it will happen quite fast. Within weeks, not within months. We will have a decision. As these countries move toward joining NATO, we are going to see Russia called to the table for what they have said before. And that is certainly a division of our world's order and a risk that we all take in what happens in the next 20, 30, 50, 100 years. I was just researching a novel company that is drilling or boring holes into the earth to put nuclear waste inside of these holes. Do you know why they're doing this? Because we have something like 300 million metric tons or some exorbitant number of nuclear waste on this earth that they don't know what to do with. And it's going to be nuclear. It's going to be harmful to the earth for the next 2,000, 3,000 years. And so we run the risk of upsetting the power agenda at play right now, and nuclear powers like Russia have said that if there is a risk to their existence, they will use nuclear weapons.
Right. It's like nothing else to lose.
That's
you know,
right.
If they're losing already, why not in their thinking?
And that is such a dangerous position for each one of us. And we have to think, we have to hope that some sort of peace holds out there. I've never heard more chilling words than a man who is leading a nuclear weaponized nation at war with other countries and, of course, with the United States of America, claiming that in talking about confrontation with the West, time will put everything into its proper place. That's Vladimir Putin saying that there is a game plan here. And I think that we have talked about that before behind closed doors, and we've talked about that here on the channel, that there was something larger at play. There was a reason that they were just putting a certain amount of their men and women toward the war, you know, their resources towards the war, and they were holding back. China has been holding back. We haven't seen any real instigation from other Western opposition countries so far, but we are going to see it here in the near future. Putin says that if our partners worsen the situation, they will feel the consequences themselves. Russia says that if attacks on Russian territory continue, then Russian forces will strike at the places where such decisions are made.
In a move toward international conflict, and after Japan broke post-war ties with Russia, calling Russia an invader of Japan and demanding that all accomplices to the occupation of Japan leave the nation immediately, now the Russian foreign minister has labeled the Japanese military and its people as an accomplice of Nazism, laying the claim that a purge against Japan needs to be taken into account as the world war begins to heat up.
Listen to those words. Listen to what we're hearing. If you would have heard these words 3 years ago, you would have thought that that was a movie script.
Right. Absolutely. It doesn't seem real.
Yeah. Russia calls Japan Nazis. Russia goes against the Nazis in Ukraine.
Right.
Japan says that Russia is occupying their country and needs to leave. NATO moving in against against Russia and the Russian Federation. China laying their claims to Taiwan. You would have thought, wow, that's a movie. but it's not. It's playing out before our eyes.
Yep. The Japanese chief cabinet secretary has warned the Japanese people that there is a serious possibility that Russia will resort to the use of nuclear weapons during conflicts that are ramping up around our world right now.
Is this just the beginning of more wars with Russia? Well, we'll let you decide. I want to thank Full Spectrum Survival for that report and update. Well, that's all for tonight. Until next time, I'm Brad Polk for the Watchman News Network.